Hello, my name's Will, and welcome back to Cool Ideas. Today, we're going over how an RC plane works, and yeah. So, this is Volumtex's F4U Corsair. I bought it from Temu just because it's cheaper than Amazon. Amazon's like $120, Temu it's $70 USD, and yeah, Temu also has free shipping. So yeah, it's a fun plane to fly. F4U Corsair was originally a World War II Army plane used by the Allies. And yeah, so how an RC plane works. The definition of an RC plane is a plane that you use, and this works with most RC planes too. But an RC plane, you use a remote controller, like this one, to control the plane. And, okay, yeah, so the first step you should always do when using an RC plane is turn on the controller. And it'll usually have some kind of lighter indicator or sound to show that it's on. And then you should plug in the battery or turn it on. It doesn't have an on button. Then you put it into the little hatch. There's the little battery hatch. And close the door. So, next, you pair it by putting the throttle up and down. And yeah, that essentially just pairs the transmitter and the receiver, which is inside the plane. So, right now, this plane, the squeaking's annoying. That's with self-righting thing on. So when I move this, it tries to self-right, but of course, it doesn't do anything since it's not moving. So, how it works is this controller, so this controller. So first of all, actually, in the plane, the battery goes into a receiver, which is in the plane and is powered by the battery and connects to this transmitter. See, transmitter or receiver. Transmitter is usually abbreviated as TX. Receiver is usually abbreviated as RX. So it's in here. I could unscrew it and go through it and find it. So, and then the receiver goes through and talks to all the different parts of a plane. And here are the other parts of a plane. So, we have the motor, which is connected to the propeller, which when I move the throttle up, it spins. And obviously this is a broken propeller. That's why I'm recording the video. I have nothing else to do since my propeller's broken. So, there you go. When I move the throttle up, propeller spins, and that's because that receiver is talking to the propeller and giving it electricity to spin, and the motor. I guess we have landing gear, which usually comes separate, and you attach, usually it's just a simple thing that you slide in, so you slide it into this box here. The tail wheel actually usually is a little metal square that you just push in. So then, next, after we cover throttle, battery, receiver, wheels, we have stuff powered by servos. Servos are just things that cause movement when you give them electricity, I guess. So if this is a servo, when I give it electricity, it just moves this way, and then when I release it, it'll move back. And here are the different things that servos control on this plane. So, number one, ailerons. These are things on the wings that they're right here. This little square on the wing. And when I want to go left or to the right, the ailerons either move up or down. They're all connected through here to a servo, which will make it spin. See that? Make it spin left to right. So, the servos, or the ailerons, how they control how the plane turns, is that say I want to turn left. You can see the servo on the left goes up, and the servo on the right goes down. Or on my left, so this side. If I want to turn this way. The servo on the left goes up, the servo on my left goes up, the servo on my right goes down. This causes there to be higher. This causes the left side of the plane, the left wing, to want to go down because there's more resistance on the top side. So it pushes it downwards. And this causes the right side of the plane, since there's more resistance on the bottom, to go up. So this causes it to shift to the left. And then it doesn't actually do the turning. So this ailerons cause it to turn left, or to cause it to rotate left or right. What actually causes it to turn more than the ailerons is called the elevator. This is on the back. It's on the tail. It's this little square right here. And this, let's say plane's going, I want to pull up. This is controlled by the elevator. It uses the same properties as the ailerons, but just single instead of two different ones. So I guess you can't see it very much there. But when I move the joystick up or down to pull up or go down, it moves the elevator. So let's say I want to go up. I'll pull the joystick down. I don't know why it's down for up, and then you can see the elevator goes up, which causes there to be more airflow on the top side, more resistance, which pushes the back of it down, which causes the propeller to go up to pull it up. So yeah, it works very similarly. And let's say if I'm turned like this and I move this elevator, then it'll cause it to pull up, which isn't actually straight up, but rather to the side, which causes it to turn. Next, and I think lastly, we have the rudder. This isn't that useful. It's mainly used in like some big cargo jets and like passenger jets and jumbo jets. I think it's used when flying, but most of the time it's just used on the ground. Since, let's say, I'm taxiing, there's no way to turn since these ailerons, first of all, they probably wouldn't be going fast enough to actually have it turn. And if it did turn, then it would just cause the wing to hit and wouldn't actually turn. So what the rudder does is when you're taxiing, which is when you're flying when you're moving the airplane on the ground, so not actually flying. So when you're taxiing, if you move the rudder left or right, then, I guess you can't see it. Let's say I want to go left. Say I want to go left, the rudder moves this way, and this is the way I want to turn. So it'll move this way, which causes more resistance on this side of the plane, it causes more resistance right here, on this side of the rudder, which causes the back to want to turn this way, because then there's less resistance, more resistance. It wants to move towards less resistance, which causes the plane, when I'm taxiing, to turn. For this plane right here, it's like not very useful since it's just not very balanced, and it needs a decent amount it needs airflow to work, and this plane just doesn't generate that much airflow without tipping. So usually when I try to use it, it'll just tip. But maybe that's just because I'm not good at using it. So it's only used for turning on the ground. That's the best use for it. And yeah, it works they all have servos connected to them. This one actually goes inside the plane. Goes through a little tunnel to connect it to a servo, but it has this little metal thing, which it has a little metal rod, which when I turn it left, it pushes, and right it pulls. Push, pull. So, I think that's all. The other thing, the reason most planes, the rudders work really well even without airflow, is because this tail wheel is connected to the rudder. So when I turn the rudder left, it also turns the tail wheel left, which is a lot better than just using the rudder. So I'm going to try to connect that sometime to the rudder. But anyways, yeah, that's how an RC plane works, and most of them apply to a real plane. But yeah, that'll be all. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.